Bollocks, guys, that was me pressing stop. I do apologise. That's always the way with me. Never do that and just easy. That would be too easy to be doing the right thing. But yeah, you're all very welcome along. It's going to be quite an interesting one, guys. With a few new drivers in as well. What will be the crack tonight? And of course, with me pressing stop on the stream is not good. But I won't be falling asleep tonight, guys. Don't worry, I will not be stopping the stream after 10 minutes of a race. I don't like to do that kind of thing. I'd feel kind of bad on you guys. But let's have a look at the faces in here. So obviously Jurgles as normal. With Prison Mike, which I always love to see there. Obviously Chris Tedder, the head of Amigos. And he's flying around there. Then G Hamling. That's a new name to myself. So looking forward to seeing what Hamling does here today. And a very, very cool looking Audi. Then of course Mr. Smee is there. Jay Taylor is a new face, I think, as well. So great to have you along, Jay Taylor. Of course then John Dudley sporting a new livery today. In that beautiful looking Lambo. Then Webster is back again. Great to see Webster back in. Then Massey is back, but Massey is now driving an Aston Martin, so this is new. I'm normally used to seeing Massey in a black and red Honda NSX. Interesting to see. Then Asprey is there in a new looking Ferrari as well. Then of course our reigning champion, Mr. Smith there, driving the NSX and not the Audi. So you can see things are starting to change a bit, but what hasn't changed is Matty Gamble in the most boring car known to man. Who will he take out this season? We will find out together. Not too sure who it's going to be, but it will happen. Then Mr. Franklin there in the Ferrari. So nice to see a few more Ferraris in the grid as well. Then P. Ferrara. It's a new name to myself. Ferrara in the Ferrari. So Paul Ferrara. Beautiful looking Ferrari, to be fair about it. Simplistic but beautiful. Then my boy Mr. Dave Campbell. Benetic sales rep himself. Great to have Dave in here as well. Dave's a good mate. Delighted to see him over here racing away. I'm looking forward to see what we can do. And his livery was done by Matthew Gamble. So anyone looking for liveries in ERA or even on sorry, the Amigos side of things there, Matty Gamble is the guy to go. There's a link in the Discord there for him. Then we have a North out in a gorgeous looking McLaren there. It looks like a base livery, but it looks just beautiful, to be fair about it. Then of course Glenn Smith, the absolute hero himself, in that Gulf livery Aston Martin, and it's a thing of beauty. Glenn was very kind to join me in the endurance race and talk with me for a lot of it, so I'm very happy that he was in. Then we have Tetley in the Ross Racing Porsche. That livery is definitely noticeable, to say the least. Then A. Gatton in that beautiful looking Audi. And Stacey Ellis rocking a McLaren. Go on, Stacey, and he is gone for the classic McLaren look from the 88, 89, 1990 seasons. Beautiful thing there. So we have 19 drivers in and possibly one or two more joining as well. Big Tony, please don't watch my laps in the Ferrari. I'm painfully slow on this thing. Well, that just means we're going to have to watch it. Absolutely have to watch it then if that's the case. But it's nice to see a few guys have changed up car as well. I really thought Matthew Gamble was going to change up, but I don't know. I think the McLaren has hurt him a little bit. Oh, and tell you one thing. Tyres in the McLaren might be a hurtful thing. So I don't know what to make of what's going to happen this season, guys, because it's a fresh season, a few fresh drivers in, and the likes of Webster and all really started to show potential through this season. Last season, we all know Asprey there. Antonio is a super fast driver. The likes of obviously Gary, Tedder. Well, obviously there's a few new guys as well. There's a few unknowns, and obviously Jurgles in there as well. Show the M4 some love. Smee, I'll give you some love, but not Matthew Gamble. I don't like the M4. But I like your M4. It's better than Matthew Gamble's M4. Okay, Chris, that's absolutely no bother at all. As I said to you earlier, oh, not too bad. As I said to you, honestly, you need to look after yourself first and then worry about racing then, if that's the case, mate. You know, we're always here if you need someone to chat to, and our communities are always here, brother. And that's absolutely a solid thing. Now, let me see. Jump on with Prison Mike there going around. I really love this livery. Oh, he's giving it everything. And I was only saying it to the guys. I was in the chat before the race. I'm so jealous I'm not racing here. It's a track I love. And actually, Chris, CJW Racing, you see there in the comments, he was my very first teammate in my very first race and my very first endurance all in the one here in Nurburgring back, I think it was November or October, something around then, or even a bit even before. That could have been September, but last year anyway. And I had such good fun with him. I truly enjoyed it. It's Chris in the pits now. Mr. Hamling. It's a nice looking Lambo, let's be fair. Very cool looking. Mr. Smee is out on track now. I mess with the camera views. That was a laugh. That unfortunately, you get rear-ended, then I get rear-ended, then Stacey just had a tough one but got it home. But overall, it was a great experience and great teamwork by us as well. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It does look like a test livery as well. What do you think of Dudley's new livery? Quite a nice looking livery. Something different. Actually, Asprey is in the Ferrari here as well, so that's different. Though it hasn't changed, it's this bucktooth looking thing here. Franklin's livery has also changed. Gone with the iron links. Very nice. I like Ferrari's one here is lovely. Dodds is really nice. I love this Ferrari here though, Chris. It's a thing of beauty. It's so simplistic, but just beautiful to look at. Come on, Hamlin lad, says Rich and Christie. Up in third spot he is at the minute. Not too long left in practice now. I don't know where Sky is. I think he's had a few bits on, unfortunately, as of late. Because he wasn't able to make last week or that. So I'll just let him be, and then if he ever wants to come in, obviously anyone's allowed to come in. If anyone wants to jump in and talk away with me, they're always more than welcome. I'm not going to push too much just in case the stuff that's still going on is still going on. As people do have other things outside of this, unfortunately. Just looking through all the chats here, guys, see what else is happening and going on in the worlds around us right now. Good to see all the numbers there are done. Let me see here what's going on. Whoa. Yeah, look, you're more than welcome to jump in if you want to jump in. Just jump into the Amigos Discord and I can drag you in. That is zero issue. There is a channel there somewhere with Stacey and I'll look at here. Going to Amigos. So there's a chat just under where the guys are chatting called Horsebox. So if you're looking to get in, just jump in the race chat and I can drag it across. But let me know if and when you're doing it and I'll get in. Stacey's livery is lovely and Chris Tedder having Stacey right there. Oh, and I like it. He's got the Senna looking on that. That's really nice. Now, unfortunately, Senna wouldn't have done what he done there. But I think he was just getting out of the way to Chris. He didn't obviously try for that. Look at Hamling onto pole. Well, not pole, provisional P1. And you see the track's progression there has jumped up by 3 degrees over the course of 5 laps. So that's quite interesting as well. Temps is going to be definitely something to be looking at. And a bit of opposite lock there with Taylor coming out of the corner. So used to seeing that with the Hondas. And away he goes. I think that's a standard looking livery, I'm not too sure. Alright James, what's the crack? Very nice livery by the way, James. I do love that Iron Lynx livery, it looks very well out there. Oh, Nasby has one as well. Okay. Going with Mr. Campbell here for a few minutes. Liam has bottled it tonight. Why? Sad to see Liam bottling her. Liam should be in here, having a bit of a race. We have 19 so far. I was expecting 1 or 2 more drivers to show up and still might possibly show up. Still 7 minutes of practice before we start jumping into the qualifying. And we all know anything can happen when it comes to quali. Drinking White Monster tonight. It's quite nice. Skins, can I go back into Honda? Is it that bad? Can't be that bad, Skins. So Heather out there, not a bother to him. I do like his revised livery. The colour scheme is really nice. The blending. Hamlin's livery is awesome though, isn't it? He's obviously feeling quite at home here with this car. And guys, anyone watching, I'm going to put up a poll once we get into quali about who we watch. Actually, I can do it now. We'll do an old poll, and whoever wins the poll, we'll go on with them for full quali lap with no talking. So I have to pick 5 drivers, so I'm going to go with Gary Smith because he won last year. So Gary Smith. We'll go with Hamling. We'll put Stacey Ellis in, why not? Let me see. Franklin. I'm just trying to think of the different cars that's out there. Joe, I'm going to show Gamble some love. I'll put on Gamble. And if anyone picks that M4, I will never speak to you again. That is now up there. Okay, I am on but can't find you. Not going to light up stuff, so do I need to that? A spectator? No, you don't. You can if you want. If not, I can stream it to you. So jump into the race chat, Chris. I'm going to jump into Horsebox. And if you jump into that race chat, I can now drag you in. So I'll wait for you to jump into the race chat with all the guys, but then I'll just drag you straight out so you don't need to talk. Because once I see your name in that race chat, I can then drag you across. And you are with me. How are you doing? Mr. Wall. I think he needs to turn on his mic. Well, while Wall is sorting that anyway, we'll jump on with Campbell. So far, there's 2 votes for Stacey Ellis, 1 vote for Smith, 1 vote for Hamling. So far. You're very, very low, brother. Let me see. I'm going to check the settings in Discord. Output volume. Input volume is high. Output volume. Try now.
Hello.
Yeah, I have you turned up now. That should help.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff.
Okay, guys, let me know if you can hear our beautiful Chris loud and clear. So, yeah.
Testies 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Right. Okay. So.
No, they're saying they can't hear you.
No. Oh, brilliant. I'm maxed out as well.
Oh, now I can hear you a lot better.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's my headset that's a bit crap then. Maybe I need to fix that. Who knows?
It is grand. Well, look, I'm glad you're in here with me. Great to have you along, brother. As always, I'll turn down the game volume when you're talking away anyway.
Well, I saw it was. I saw it was free. Like a lot of people will be saying, well, why is he not racing? Well, yeah, I've got stuff going on. I can't really commit to the full season, so I just decided to not take up a place.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You don't need to explain yourself to nobody. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all entitled to race when we can, and obviously, if you've something going on, you've something going on, which is fine. But I'm just glad you're here anyway, regardless. And once you're doing good, mate, that's all that matters.
I'll just try and get me old commentary pizzazz back. That's the aim, because one thing I want to start doing in the future is getting a little bit more into the broadcasting side, like you guys have been doing to help the community out. So if I can get the practice in, then that'll benefit me in the long run.
Well, I'm more than happy to go through every single thing with you, show you how to do the overlays and everything, mate. If you're ever wanting to get into it, not a bother.
I will be sliding into your DMs when I'm ready, mate.
And not just flashing your titties.
Well, maybe into separate occasions. Yeah. Right, do I need a spectator password?
Oh, I'll have to message that to you.
Okay, message it.
So what I'm gonna do, I'll open the chat. So can you open the chat for this one, for this room, yeah? So right clicking it, you see open chat. So when you right click on the horse box bit of it.
No, I don't have an open chat option.
Oh, so when you right click on it, you should see open chat, hidden names.
I haven't got the open chat bit.
Ah.
Oh wait. Yeah, I found it.
There you go.
Now,
And that's the password there. That's it. Want to be shouting it out.
yeah, it's not loading the messages, mate.
I'll do it again. Wait. Now can you see that?
Nope.
Ah, Jesus. I'll just PM you. And I'll broadcast in that channel then as well. So they should see what I'm looking at as well. So, 1 sec. So, CJW Racing. So that's the spectator password sent to you in the PM.
Perfect.
And then I'll see, can I share my screen? Grand up, she should be able to see that now, yeah?
On a different bit. Let's get set up.
Nay, bother.
Yep, I can see it.
Grand job. Grand. Right, so yeah, so far looking at the voting, Stacey Ellis has 48 votes for doing a quali lap with Stacey, so people really want to see Stacey. They're absolutely beating out those votes. I've never seen somebody get so many votes here. Over 70 votes for Stacey, 1 vote for Gary, 1 vote for Hamlin, 4 votes for Franklin. Stacey Ellis is by far the most popular person in here.
They're definitely in this for the memes, aren't they? What's Stacey driving? Is it a McLaren?
McLaren he's in tonight. What a dude.
Boy, that's going to be a battle of laughs on this.
I have to say, I do like it. He's the Senna S in it and then Senna signature. It's actually quite a nice looking car. And now Stacey's driving around in circles.
Well, he's just practicing for later on.
Waiting for the quali lap.
Yeah, someone needs to tell him it's not NASCAR.
Oh, what a dude. I think everyone in the league loves him. Do you reckon that Gary's going to be able to maintain his championship this season? I'm kind of doubtful with the amount of new drivers in. It's going to be very tough for him.
Yeah, and the competition as well is going to be hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm in this right, this server.
You're not in as a car, so you must be in it. You just have to press drive for it to go to normal screen.
I'll do it right.
Yeah, and then I don't know how you can flick around, but I have it broadcasting in our chat as well, so you'll see the broadcast as well.
Okay, that'll do. I'll wing it for now.
And we're on with Ross now anyway, as he is tipping around. Now, Ross gone for a very plain livery. I'm wondering, is it I didn't have time, maybe?
You know, it's just blue, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very plain. I like it, but don't get me wrong, in any way, shape or form, I actually do like it.
Maybe he's really into his pastel colours at the minute, and he's just showing that off as flagrantly as he can.
Well, look at Mr. Alex here is the opposite side of it.
You know what? That I just flicked a Tenno Rescue's car, and I was like, "Why has it got like ice cream on the back of it and all that sort of stuff?" But it looks really good.
So we got the story for this one. This was actually an endurance livery they done when they were racing for the Just for Kids charity.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, so
that's nice. That's nice.
I love it. I love hearing these. This Ferrari here, though, Ferrari, I genuinely love. It looks so simple, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, that is a nice looking car. A couple of Ferraris, 3 Ferraris in this
I'm shocked too.
lobby. Well, is it because of the track selection this season? It's really strong at a lot of tracks.
Yeah, and look at Massey in an Aston Martin now as well, not a Honda.
Judley's still in his Lambo. Smee still in that cheap code BM. He's one to watch out for. You know, he's quick, and we know that BMW's good here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but you've got a few of them. Obviously, Franklin is super fast in that Ferrari on a regular basis. Jurgel's in that Porsche. He's getting to be one with President Mike anyway. Which, just look, to be honest with you, I don't know. There's like the new people. Hamling seems super fast in that Lambo as well there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Have to wait and see, won't we? Like we may default to the guys that we know and love and have watched over many seasons, and then these new guys come in and start smashing lap records, and suddenly we're back to square one again. So
100%.
The next 15 minutes going to tell us one hell of a story, and we'll see how this ends up.
100%. And what we're going to do, though, we're going to start the story off, I think, with an onboard with this guy here once he gets around to the start-finish straight.
Oh, come on, Stacey. You know this track. You know it. We've done hours here.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think he's going to do even better than he did that time, because he's after getting so much faster in the last few months as well. And like,
well, he's got so much practice evading the police. He's got it.
Oh, that is the truth. That is the truth.
Start chasing you and you'll be fine.
And I'm doing this prematurely, but I don't think anyone's going to catch 74 votes for Stacey Ellis here. The closest then is 70 behind.
Wow.
People wanted Stacey big time.
Yeah. The people have spoken.
They really have.
This is very much a democracy.
It's absolutely brilliant. Right, so we're going to jump on. I normally don't say nothing for this lap. We'll just sit back and enjoy what is Stacey.
I'll be quiet.
Enjoy, everyone. He always has to show off at the end of the lap there, a bit of flicking of the tail, see that?
He invalidated his lap at some point around there, though, didn't he?
We were enjoying that lap regardless.
Yeah, no, good fun. Not a bad lap there from Stacey, to be fair. So nicely done. And don't forget the track's green at the minute, which means it's not moving at all.
Yeah.
So a 55.5 is the top time at the minute. If the track evolves in the next 8 minutes, we can expect an absolute time of that.
100%. Wow, poor Liam was giving him dog shit. He was asking what the number of Stacey was. Obviously, we've got the position, then beside the position you see the hashtag with the number. And then we said 661 and he's like, obviously that's how many minutes it takes him to do a lap. Harsh. Very harsh. So realistically, looking there, we'll jump on with Dave Campbell. He's preparing to go for a lap now as well. I'm interested to see how Dave does. So my history with Dave is he actually raced in the very first Formula 1 league I ever created, and he stayed in that community up until about a month or two ago. I think he then eventually turned to PC, and then we reconnected again, and he's here, which is great to see. So I'm really interested to see what he does, and he was one of these guys that impressed me. He came into the Formula 1 side of things and wasn't the top dog at all in any way, shape or form, but consistently grinded and got way faster and actually ended up winning a lot of races and, you know, was really putting it to the fast guys there. So I'm really looking forward to see his transition here. I've seen it in F1 and now seeing it in ACC is going to be really enjoyable for me.
Good that he jumped in at the deep end in this championship as well.
Yeah. I love his livery. I have to say, Matty done a good job in his livery. Number freaking personalities. Brilliant. Dave's going nice and smooth here at the minute.
Yeah, it's looking nice and tidy.
And we both know how good the M4 is around here, in fairness. As much as I hate it, it is a nice car to drive.
Got a lot of cars on laps at the minute.
Yeah, I'll be looking now myself. I'm just going to stick on with him for this one, as Dudley has gone onto a yellow flag, so he's given up. Maybe getting out of the way. But I think
was a timing, half a second off the pole time so far for Tada.
Yeah, he's up about 2/10 so far this lap as well. Well, he's dropping down, as I say. I'll always look at the sector if he's up on this lap here. Yeah. Unfortunately, you guys can't see that on the stream. So let's see. So Dave Campbell, I'm expecting him to be about a 157-ish.
Okay.
I'd be expecting. Now, he could be faster than that. I'd expect about 157.5 or something close to that.
We're about to get the answer to that question and more.
There we go, 159.
No,
it's that's definitely not a shameful lap at all. Because
sorry, I'm gonna talk over you.
I don't mind, babe. I'll just sit back and let you talk.
Give your voice away. I was just going to say, we've just got one more driver to set a lap, but we've got quite a disparity in the lap times at the minute. So the bottom 5, I'm expecting to go quicker and potentially mix it up.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to see if this track evolves in the closing minutes. I think a lot of drivers are just waiting for that, see if it goes too fast or even optimum. Yeah,
the track temperature hasn't changed at all so far as well, which we wouldn't expect too much of a progression with the track temperature in 15 minutes, but it hasn't improved as of yet anyway. So we're on with Dudley because the crowd wanted a bit of Dudley, but I'm going to jump back to Asprey here now because Asprey is up 0.3 of a second and he only needs 1.5 tenths to snip for pole. So Asprey here is definitely running quite fast. And his driver has been really impressing me of late, Antonio. No matter what car he's in, he seems to be getting the most out of it.
Yeah, he's really quick. He annoyed me last week because I did a lap of the gods, in my opinion, at Imola, and he came in and on his first lap out of the pits basically went half a second quicker than I did. So yeah,
it's sick of you.
That humbled me fast, you know.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's it. There's always going to be someone out there that will be faster. Oh, and he's got a bit sideways and lost. Geez, about 2/10 there,
Oh,
which
that's
is
the
not ideal.
bite. That's how that thing bites at you.
Oh yeah, but still, he just needs to find another half a tenth, and he should be able to at least jump on provisional pole for now and maybe go for another lap. Oh, he's giving it everything there. He's after pulling up a lot of time there. Can he keep that time though? Looks like he can. He's gonna go on provisional pole here. Nearly 2.5 tenths up he was. No.
No, just missed out.
Wow. So Gary jumped on pole while we were talking.
There's less than a tenth now between the top three. So
Bah.
all separated by 800ths of a second.
And Hamling here is up over 2.5 tenths and he's only 0.25 off. So this is going to get spicy because I know Asprey left about 2.5, 3 tenths on the table as well.
Yeah, last chance saloon now for a lot of these drivers, so they'll be out there till the fuel runs low and they've refined the track and they've got the very most out of these cars they can do. They've got the bankers in, they might as well go balls to the wall now.
Well, this is definitely a provisional pole lap here, over 2.5 tenths. Boom. What a lap, a 155.3.
Very nice.
But Gary's up over 2 tenths. What the hell? Can't go anywhere.
Gary just a little bit unstable there at the final straight. He's pushing really hard, you can tell.
Yeah, he still has more time though left. He's not going to do it this lap. Jorgels is gaining a bit of time.
He's got enough time for 2 more laps. Whether he's got the fuel and tyres is another question.
Yeah.
And Dudley's just jumped up a position as well.
Alex then as well is up a bit of time so far. Jorgels is up 3 tenths. We may jump back on with Jorgels. This could be big for Jorgels. If he can get another tenth or two, he could be jumping into the top 3.
Really nice chicane as well. That was about as good as it gets.
Doesn't look like he's going to do it, and he's after losing so much time there. He lost 3 tenths in that one corner. 3 tenths.
Yeah, he got it. Just his braking was just a tad late, and it was just enough to push the Porsche into an understeer moment and loses you too much time.
Did you see what Stacey wrote in the chat? What a dude. What a dude.
Oh, amazing. I love it.
Never fails to impress. Dudley's up about 4 tenths nearly.
Yeah, we've seen Tadaraski appear to the party as well, getting himself into P12 now.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on Dudley. Dudley's definitely improving. Ferrara is up over 3 tenths, 4 tenths. Ferrara's up a lot of time, but obviously he's 2 seconds off the overall pace at the minute. But this could still be great for him. If he gets up about 4 tenths, he could be up into about P11. Oh, and as we say that, he's not. He's invalidated. Gatton's up nearly 6 tenths of a second, but unfortunately needs to find a lot more. But Hamling, who's on pole, is already up a bit more time. But Dudley here, about half a second now he's up. Lost a little bit through that chicane there. It's so hard if you run slightly too much or too slow through it, it kills you.
Should jump him up a few spots though.
Just the one spot, unfortunately.
Yeah, just the one.
Well, he crossed the line in time for one more go at it though. He literally got there 2 seconds beforehand, or 0.2 tenths. Tedder is up nearly 4 tenths. So has Chris been just after taking the sandbags out?
Yeah, I think he's finally got rid of the ballast out. Oh, I'm just on board with him. He's really pushing that car out too deep, but he might be able to recover the lap.
Well, he's still up 3.5 tenths. Where's your amazing brother at? Your amazing brother is in 15th at present.
In the pits.
I can't believe he called his brother shit. His brother is deadly.
On board with Tadder at the moment. Nice to navigate the Schumacher-esque. May have lost a little bit of time there through the left-hander.
I've added in more drivers there just to make him feel a bit happier. Although it takes up most of it. What I can do, I can just make that a bit smaller for today. Just so it's not absolutely in the way. There we go. So now he can't give out. He can see his brother.
See the yellow flags on their pin. What a lap.
Oh, that was a great lap there by Chris. Even with the massive sideways action.
Yeah,
Pulled a lot out of it.
Yeah, a track evolution. We never did get it.
Nope. At all. Right, so now we have a minute or two to spare. So what we'll normally do, I think it's 5 minutes in this yeah, it's 5 minutes. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run the merch ad and then I'll run our intro and then we'll get back into it. So we're just gonna go for a quick flirt with each other here, guys, and we'll be back to you.
You have to say it, baby. And us in Texas, you wanna try, baby. I know you can, I know your heart, and you will figure out. You love me now, 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 love you now. I gotta leave you, love me now, 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 now.
So yeah, sitting waiting to go. It's a nice full grid, 20 drivers. There is a few missing, but that is the joys of people having lives. I know Paul Venture is just bollocks after the weekend, so he won't be racing tonight. But it's looking like a nice grid tonight. Some very good drivers and a nice mix of cars as well. A Lambo on pole, which is something I haven't seen in quite a while.
No, we've got a good selection here. Obviously, we've got the hour as well. I've just had a check of the weather. We should have a dry race. I'm going to use the word should because this is Amigos and Chris Ted has organised it, so anything's possible.
100%.
We're looking at a less than 20% chance of rain according to the forecasts, but we'll see.
I won't hold me breath. Could be worse.
We don't have, with it being the first race of this season, we don't have any success penalties either. So that's one thing to factor in for the pit stops. That takes that sort of strategic element away from a lot of these guys that are maybe looking at an undercut and overcut. They're not going to have that. It's purely, do you take tyres, don't you take tyres? Do you start high fuel, do you start low fuel? That's the main gamble they'll be having with themselves in the cars at the minute. it's purely just going to be on basic strategy stuff.
Yeah, I think this is a nice. It's probably the only race of the season where they can just dogfight it out and the best man wins without having to worry about the succession penalties. And speaking of which, normally it is in first position you would get. So whoever wins tonight has a 15-second time penalty for next week. Second place is 10-second penalty, and a third place then is a 5-second penalty. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one. I think I'm just going to have the camera focused on Gary at the start, just so we kind of get everyone in on this helicam view.
What you think?
How are you, Daz? How are you, Christy?
Where's Gamble? He's 8th. Right, we're going to watch Gamble.
How can you miss that buck-tooth thing out there? Right, do you reckon he's going to take out Jurgles straight away, or is he going to wait maybe till the first corner?
Oh, you get it done straight away, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, it's Matty.
Why wait?
So who do you reckon's going to win? I'm going to just pick a first, second, and a third. I'm actually going to go with Hamling on pure or pace. I'm going to go Gary second and Tedder third. I reckon Gary might get the jump.
I think that'll safe, you know. I'm not going to rule out Tony.
Well, you can't rule out anyone really. I'm winging it.
Wow, God knows. Depends what the weather does, I suppose, and how they all look after the tyres. But I'll shut up and let you talk.
Well, we're away now anyway. So Tedder looks like he's got a very good start. I mean, I know how quick that Honda is, but no matter what, Hamlin does have the better position. Matty Gamble's even trying to go up there. Jurgles is holding the middle of the track. So this is where it could get quite dodgy. So far, it all looks fairly safe behind. Chris Tedder now. I think Chris Tedder's going to try and go for the lead. He's up the inside of the Lambo. The Lambo's carrying the pace around, but Tedder's holding the inside line here with Gary in third place. So far,
everybody through clean so far. I'm flicking through all the cars. Everybody's through clean so far. Great standard of driving.
Absolutely, and Matty Gamble there up into 6th position. Oh, and it looks like, as we say that, Hamling is now down in 3rd position. It looks like Gary and Tedder are after getting through. Last thing you want then, because now you have, Aspie runs slightly wide there, and that's going to give Jurgles a slightly better run. Aspie's going to hold the inside line though. Beautiful. Oh, Matty Gamble's going to try the inside of Jurgles now as well, but has to think better of it. Looking back as well, Taylor and Webster after swapping positions. Gatton's after losing a few positions. Who's after running wide? It is Gatton in the Audi. So not good for Gatton. Stacey sitting quietly at the back, ready to pounce. Dave Campbell in 16th position. And as we say that there, Stacey runs a bit wide, and we're back on. So how are you getting on with the start? How are you finding the race so far?
Oh, this is brutal. Oh, I've just got on board as Tim Smee and Dudley had a bit of a come together. Smee's just waiting for a gap to re-enter the track. It looked just as I flicked to it as if one of them just got a bit uneasy coming out.
We're on a live replay now.
Didn't see it in full.
So Dudley, don't know what happened there so far. So they're both coming on. Smee just runs it slightly into. The car snaps. That was a racing incident in my book. I can't really give out to anyone there because Dudley was entitled to the line. Smee was entitled because there was room there to go for it. It was just one of those incidents.
Vortex of danger, as they call it in stewarding circles.
Yeah.
Just looking a bit further up, Taylor's been hassling Webster for the last couple of corners, trying to get past that Aston Martin. You can just see Gamble and Co scuttering off into the distance.
By the way, why is we missed Chris Tedder down in 17th, and Gary's in the pits?
I will access a replay and I will find out for you.
Yeah, because it's definitely too late for me to go back now to look.
I can be that guy. Give me a second.
So Hamling from Asprey, and then Jurgles. Just when we're looking at one replay, something big happens out front.
Just on board with Tedder now. He was leading the race.
Mm-hmm.
Smith tries to go up the inside. This is just before the chicane. Smith just looks like he gets a kick off the curb, and him and Tedder have a bit of a win together. Big damage for both cars.
Ah, no. Not what either of them would want, because they're actually very good friends and they work very well together. So look, it was obviously, as you say, the curb maybe, possibly a racing incident as well. We'll see after. Yeah, that's tough.
One for the steering team to unpick. Looks like Gary's still in there getting some repairs done. Tedder's in 17th and carrying on with Tetley and Gatton fighting away ahead of him.
I think Tedder's waiting for the 5-minute window to open.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because Gary will have to pit again. There is a mandatory stop for fuel. Oh, my James Franklin here. He has been hounding. Jumping up, look, Dave Campbell now up into 13th position with Ferrara, and then Glenn ahead of that as well. So Glenn having a great job there.
Yeah, loads of positions gained by them guys, just by staying clean, clearing out of trouble.
Glenn's up 4 positions.
Yeah, loads. Nice and nice. That's what you need to do in these races, though. You just need to keep your nose clean.
Yeah. So the biggest losers, Tedder down 14, Smee's down 8, and Gary is down 17, and Dudley's down 3. Gamble up 4 positions, Alex is up 5 positions. That's whereas Liam came to watch him spin. Oh, I love it. So now Tedder will be jumping into the pits. We'll jump on to see does he go for straight away. So there's damage all over that car. All over the rear of it. So although it doesn't look like he has major damage actually, just looking at it there now, it looked worse a second ago. I think
Gary seemed to get the worst of it.
Yeah.
From that, Tedder definitely did take a big bump into the wall, so we'll have some aero damage for sure, but the suspension shouldn't have got away lightly.
Yeah, it just seems to be the rear of the car has a bit of damage, alright, but it's not stopping him going for the overtake here.
No.
And around the outside he's going to go.
Nicely done.
Gatton was trying to come back at him though. Gatton's not going to give up, but Tedder and that Honda in the straight line should fly away now. But Hamling is being kept honest here by Antonio and by Jurgles. And Gamble's coming into this one as well. Are we seeing a resurrection of Matty Gamble?
Oh, and Dudley diving for the pits at the start as well.
Wow.
I just saw him. He was starting to engage in a nice little fight with Massey there, and I think he just took the pit road to get out of traffic. So I think Dudley's strategy from here on in, don't think he's got any damage, but he just wants to get in, clear out, and do some hot laps while everyone else is fighting.
He could actually be jumping a few spots by doing that. I think that's a very smart move with the way it's still so close with all of these guys here. So Taylor and Franklin right behind as well. And then when you come back here, Ferreira and then Campbell on Glenn as well. Glenn's doing a great job at the minute keeping the guys behind, not falling for any bit of pressure. As Dudley now overtaking Tedder in the pits. So Tedder is actually in and could be a while in there yet, depending on how much damage is in. So Gary is only going around turn 1 now. So Gary is a lap down, unfortunately. And unfortunately it does have to pit again, which is the probably more annoying thing for him than anything else.
Yeah, Tedder's got his stop out of the way now, so he can go to the end, and he will, unless the weather forces a stop.
Yeah.
He's going to the end now, so it's all about recovery, pick as many points up as possible. And yeah, just hope that in the next 52 minutes other people come across as well, and that's very likely in these tricky conditions.
Indeed, but this man here, Dudley, I think is after pulling a genius stroke, getting out of any traffic, getting his pit stop done, and away he goes now to the end of the race. I think Dudley here could be a little dark horse in this.
Yeah, definitely. Like the next car ahead of him is Gary Smith, so he's not going to be held up by traffic for a little while yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a good move. We'll see how that plays out in 50-odd minutes' time.
Franklin, after having a bit of an off there, we'll go back and have a look. It looked like a minor spin, though, through the chicane. We know the Ferrari is very susceptible to bumps. Ooh, he just lost it by the looks of it there. Got a bit.
Was that Taylor ahead that had a bit of a going off as well?
Yeah, I think he maybe might have. Ooh. Jurgles up in the second spot because Webster is in the pits. And Asprey's down in third, so Jurgles got the move done.
He's having a solid race so far, isn't he, Jurgles?
He really is.
Yeah, he's absolutely loving it here tonight. He's clear air now. He's got a bit of a gap to Hamling up ahead, but beautiful job by him in the push so far.
Asprey's though is right there, 2/10 behind him, and Gamble is about 6/10 off as well. And Alex here is also giving Franklin a bit of a headache here tonight.
See, I would normally say that it's not easy to overtake here, but these guys are proving me wrong. Like this, they're going for it every single corner. Oh, Jiggles goes deep up ahead.
It does indeed, man.
Quite open enough for Asprey to stick a Ferrari-sized hole in there.
No, I know Matty Gamble is all over Asprey. And if Gamble, now we know how good this BMW is around here, in fairness, we do have the experience with it. This eats the likes of the chicane and that, so you can nearly take that chicane straight through with that BMW.
Yeah, you can, but this is where Dudley's strategy is going to come for him, because if these guys engage in this fight for too much longer, that's just going to give him time.
Absolutely, yeah. At the end of the day, I think it's a genius move by him to just go in and get it done now. Oh, Stacey Ellis is after having an off there. Let's go back and have a quick look there. Well, at that stage, he was already driving over the grass. Oh my god!
Oh, Stacey.
Oh, that was dodge. Who was that he hit?
I'll go and have a look.
I think that was Jay Taylor. No, it wasn't Jay Taylor. So that was either... It wasn't Heather, so it was Gary. Yeah, Gary has the damage on the side of his car. Oh, bad worse for Gary. That's not a way to start off his championship fight to trying to keep the championship. I can't even speak right now after that one.
That was missing to me at Rouge the other night. That it was just
No, I'm sorry. What happened to you at Rouge? It's unacceptable.
Gary would not have seen that as well. So
No.
yeah, he couldn't have avoided it. To be fair.
Yeah, I'd say with Stacey there, he probably just couldn't turn on the grass, but probably had no damage. Well, what you happened to, the person knew they damage and just kept going full throttle.
Yeah, again, another one for the Steelers to unpick. If he was on the brakes and he was trying to avoid it, then yeah, I mean that is a downhill bit of the circuit, so
Yeah.
We'd have to see. To be fair, I'm not going back through it now, but Gary's unfortunately back in the pits with a lot of damage on his Honda, and he's going to be 2 laps down by the time he gets that thing rolling again.
Yeah, that's a tough one for him. But we know Gary will stay going regardless. He's that kind of a dude.
And it's a long season. So one bad round doesn't equal a bad season.
No, exactly. It's just a shame that these things happen, but, you know, it is racing after all, and, you know, you have your good days and your bad days. And a key example of that is poor Paul Venture has had a mare of a weekend. Very, very hard endurance for him, and then on Sunday as well, it was a tough race for him.
I know, and he probably had to do both of them sober, which made it even worse, I suppose.
That's quite true as well. So Juggles got by Asprey when we were looking at other stuff going on. This is what happens. We go back to look at a replay, and there's a move happening. But it is so close. Look at this, even Smee, North, Gatton. Then you still have Gamble, Ferrara, Alex and Massey. So Massey's after getting by. And then Asprey and Gamble here. Like, it's no matter where you look. Glenn's flying, make me proud. The Peacock is flying.
There's a few little groups forming now that are having virtual battles going off.
There's about 4 or 5 different groups. It's just... Where do you look? Oh, Smee's going to go for a move here, though. It looks like on North. He's all up the back of North. Who breaks later? Smee has the inside line. That's a lovely move by Smee.
Really nice. North didn't defend it, though. He didn't, didn't bother really moving over to defend it away from Smee.
No. Well, you couldn't really there. At the end of the day, the move was pretty much done down the inside. If you try and cut that off, you know it's going to be hit into you.
Smee's after Gatton straight away. To be fair, he's not hanging around. He's straight on the back of the 43 Audi.
Yeah.
He's looking to make a move as we enter sector 2. So the BMW looking really strong here as we enter the last 3 quarters of the race.
Oh, we definitely know how strong this car is here. And now Pierre Ferrara is getting close now to Glenn as well.
Yeah,
so
just flicked onto that actually. Yeah, the Ferrari's really strong on the brakes.
But we know Glenn here. I race with Glenn around here, and he's very consistent. Oh, the Ferrari clips the curb. The one thing you don't want to do in a Ferrari, and around he goes. P. Ferrara.
It's Achilles heel, yeah.
I'm going to jump back on here because the Audi there got a little jump. And Smee now is looking to try and find a way around Gatton. But I say Glenn now must be relieved as well as Alex North goes understeers off and comes back on. But for Glenn, that's a moment of relief. He can just focus on his own race now. Dave is about a second and a bit off. So at the minute he can just kind of focus back on doing his own thing and getting further up grid. He's having a great start to this race. Now Asprey obviously has gone into the pits there as well. That's why Matthew is up in third position. Oh no, he hasn't gone into the pit yet.
No, it's not counted as his mandatory pit stop. We've had 4 cars in the pit so far. None of the top 15 have pitted yet. No.
Gary's been in twice. Ellis is obviously still in the pits at the minute. So interestingly, in the speed trap, Dudley is actually the fastest car out there. 243 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, clear.
And Smee gets by Gatton.
But he's yeah, really quick.
I'm just going to go back on here. We're doing a 30-second replay to watch the Smee and Gatton drag race down the main straight. And another Smee inside move, I would assume, going into turn 1. Yeah, Gatton's not defending that. And Smee just gets on the brakes a little bit later, and he has down that inside line. And away he goes. That was a lovely move there by Smee. And he's...
Dump and send it 2-2 for Smee.
Absolutely. Jumping on with Massey now, because Massey is getting very close to Franklin now. These two are used to fighting each other in different cars. Although Franklin was always in the Ferrari, so it's only Massey to prepare in a different car. But that Aston Martin seems to be quite a popular car these days.
Yeah, it's like the Merc in that it's a bit of an all-round Swiss Army knife of a car. A block change not so long ago absolutely nerfed it. The most recent one helped it out a little bit more, so we can just watch how it eats the curbs here. It's no bother, straight.
Yeah. Oh, Franklin, the Massey. Oh, Massey runs wide, and that's how he gets by.
Yeah, it's the Ferrari of Franklin. Like, it's a really good car in some aspects, but when you're trying to gain time in corners on the curbs, it doesn't comply.
And here's Ferrari now all over the back of Gatton. We've seen what happened to Ferrari already. He needs to avoid that sausage car big time, and he has done this time round. I think he'd Vietnam flashbacks there from the lap beforehand. The only thing is though, the Ferrari in a straight line, would it be as quick? Doesn't look like it is. They're quite evenly matched. For Hamling here though, it's great so far. He's about 3 seconds clear. And not under any pressure. He can just race his own race, which is quite nice for him. Jurgel's doing a great job in second position.
Nice little freeway battle for P6 at the minute between Aston Martin and McLaren and a Ferrari.
Indeed, it is still Franklin, Tito and Massey. Massey has dropped quite a bit off Asprey, so he's about 6.1 seconds off as well. But that hopefully should develop. And then even further back, Ferrari is still there with Gatton. Then Stacey Ellis is actually last, so Gary has somehow got by Stacey.
It's a miracle.
Well, fair play. Oh, Asprey had a little bit of a moment. And remember I was saying Asprey was 6 seconds clear of Massey. He's now only 0.9 of a second off. So Massey had, or Asprey had a big moment there, so Antonio now on the back foot a little bit. It's 2 seconds covers 5th to 8th. Oh, I don't know how Franklin is, but no, Franklin went off with that. I was going to say, how is he taking them curbs like that and sent them straight off the track?
Must be the gigantic testicles weighing him down and giving him a bit more downfall.
It didn't work for him. He went straight off the track with it. I'd say Glenn is doing a great job as well. He's after pulling out a bit of time on Dave Campbell. He's now 1.9 seconds, or actually a bit more. What, 1.8 seconds, 1.9, yeah. Keeps flipping between.
It's a lovely livery on that car as well, isn't it? The Glenn Smith 777.
Oh, isn't it a thing of beauty? That Gulf livery is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And just for anyone who's watching on the screen, looking at the standings board, when you see the yellow with an L, like 4, 5, 6, 7, that's the lap they pitted on. And the time that's stuck in it is how long they've been in the pits. Stacey Ellis was 3 minutes 17 seconds in the pits. Gary Smith a minute 1, Tedder a minute 1. Dudley 56. The fastest person so far in the pits has been Ross Webster.
Yeah, well, all those guys you just mentioned had damage.
Yeah.
Harry Smith, it will only show the most recent bout of damage, and we know he's been in twice with some, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, Tedder got away quite lightly with this, didn't he?
He did. He did. Did Alex North have damage? Because he's in now a minute.
I didn't see, but I can go back and check.
Interesting. So he's coming out of the pits now. He's been quite a bit of time in there. I'm very shocked at that. So Ferrara here is still harassing. We know Jay Taylor's starting to catch Matthew Gamble. So Matthew Gamble's dropped off Jorgels. Jorgels is having a very strong race so far there in P2 and is only 1.8 seconds off Hamlin. And Jorgels is definitely putting up a fight here to Hamlin. So I'm wondering, will that Lamborghini start to be overheating its tyres possibly a little bit? Or maybe is he just taking it a little bit easy for the minute? Because there's still, what, 40 minutes to go.
No damage to North's McLaren that I could see. Just an unusually long pit stop.
Tyre change probably.
Yeah, potentially new tyres. But a good battle developing as well between Farah and
Oh, Franklin and Tito Show or whatever it is came together.
Oh,
no.
No.
Turn 1. Franklin is quite a bit back. Brakes a lot later. Has to go down the inside, but no. And I wouldn't mind what was happening there. Wasn't Alex trying to get out of the way of Franklin? He seen Franklin going for the move down the inside. He turned back out to try and give him the room, and then Franklin just hits the back of him. So to be fair,
now as well, didn't he? So they both tried to avoid it, but went the same way.
yeah. Oh,
Shame. That is a shame because they were having a really good race as well.
well, it goes to show the awareness as well of Alex to see that happening, to try and get out of the way. But unfortunately, then Franklin had already tried to pull out of it. And then that's what happens, unfortunately. But look, it is racing. But now Webster, Ferrara, and Agat and Arada. But Webster looks like he's going to try and go around Ferrara, and he has got around Ferrara. And now he's all over the back of Gatton already. This Aston Martin is definitely flying. And the Gatton runs wide, and there you go. Webster's right through. 2 corners, 2 victims, and on the way he goes.
Webster has pitted, don't forget. So pace-wise, we'd expect to see him probably a little bit further up. Whether he's on fresh tyres, I don't know. Probably don't expect him to have taken tyres.
And look at this, Gary is actually going to be fighting Alex Norton now to get 18th position. I wasn't expecting this after 2 pit stops.
No, that's some recovery drive by Gary here. Been in the pits twice.
Unreal.
Yeah, he's not a million miles away from cars that haven't pitted yet, you know.
No, that's the thing. I'm just looking there. Realistically, he could find himself maybe in the top 10 position by the end of it in the next, what, 48 or 38 minutes. Jump on with Taylor, who's still kind of in around the second of Matty Gamble. Hasn't quite got there just yet. So realistically, if you're the likes of Gamble, Jorgels here, if I was Gamble, if Taylor gets too close and starts fighting, if I was Gamble, I'd just jump into the pit straight away, get me pit stop done, and not waste any time.
Yeah, I probably would as well. Yeah, I was going to say I might try and be sneaky and slow the other guy, but there's no point. There's no one else around him to slow him.
You're only hurting yourself then pulling away, because if Jorgels has an incident, he's only 5.3 seconds off. One of them guys doesn't need to make a small error up ahead, and that could be, you know, potentially a race win drive.
100%. Jiggler's got the fastest lap at the minute as well, so he's really on a charge.
Yeah, he's doing brilliant out there. I'm a fan of Jorgels, and I love that car. That livery for me is probably one of my favourites.
Good sounding motor that as well.
Oh yeah, it revs for days.
Top 11, all yet to pit.
Indeed.
Like that happened. 30, is it the last 5 minutes it shuts into? So they've got half an hour yet.
So we still have 14 cars to pit out of the full 20 that started, so it's still an awful lot of things can change. And I'm going to keep an eye on, of course, where is he now? Dudley's and sitting in 15th at the minute. He, for me, is going to be still someone to keep an eye on.
Yeah, him and Webster for sure.
Mhm.
A lot of the traffic's calmed down now. I was going to say for a lot of these cars, we're still heavily battling. The lap times aren't too bad for a lot of the mid-pack, but Dudley's sort of 56s, 57s is matching the pace of the guys ahead, so he really needs to be going quicker to make this monstrous undercut work.
Yeah, and in the last 5 laps, the track has already jumped up 2 degrees. As Alex is in the pits, and Franklin is in the pits by the looks of it. Oh, he's not. Why is it saying? Oh no, it's because Franklin was already in the pit, sorry. I keep forgetting Franklin jumped in very early.
Has he paid already?
Yeah, it was lap 4, 1.2 seconds.
Oh.
Oh, that makes no sense. There was obviously an error there with him. That makes no sense. He was not in the pit for 1.2 seconds.
I mean, I can check the replay, but 1.2 seconds total pit time doesn't sound right.
No, at all. That's a Formula 1 pit stop, even way better than the Formula 1 pit stop.
That is a DHL fastest pit stop award, that one.
Dave Campbell on the fight now with Mr. Smee for 9th and 10th position. And Glenn has done a phenomenal job. He's pulled 4.8 seconds clear of these guys. So I'm sure Glenn will want these to stay fighting, but Smee has the inside line. Dave Campbell's a very smart driver. He's not going to overfight this either. He's going to race his own race.
As you were talking north, on off the track, I'm just checking the replay to see what happened.
We'll get that live. He's still off. We'll go back 30 seconds and have a look. And I go back 30 seconds, he was sideways into the wall. So he's been stuck sitting there for 30 seconds.
Yeah, a lot on the curbs, unfortunately, all on his own.
An unforced error is probably the toughest error, because at least if it happens while you're racing, you can kind of swallow that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just going to jump on with Campbell again, because they are still fighting quite close together. And look at Dudley as well. Dudley is getting very close to Gatton. So I would expect Dudley to get by Gatton fairly quickly with the pace that Dudley's driving at today.
He's got to make these moves quick and decisive, though. He don't want to lose too much time getting past these cars.
No.
They're not obliged. This is for position. They're not obliged to get out of the way or anything like that. Dudley's just got to be clinical with these moves.
I just noticed he's put the mustache back in the car.
What a way. Could not. Could not.
It has to be done. Dudley going down the inside. Gatton's giving him the room, and he gets the job done.
Good driving, that.
So Tetley's gone into the pits. I'm jumping on here with Glenn sitting now in A place. So he's 7.3 seconds off Franklin, but he's 2.6 seconds ahead of Smee. So Smee is starting to eat into his bit of an advantage, but we know how kind of level-headed Glenn is. He's one of these guys, he doesn't falter under pressure. You could literally be driving right behind him for the whole race, and it's very rare that he makes an actual error. He's a very consistent driver.
Yeah, it's me. I'll have to again probably do one of his. Oh, we've got a speeding in the pit lane penalty there for Mr. Tetley.
Not what you want at all.
Okay, Smee's eating into this.
Yeah.
Up on north there, but yeah, we'll have to see what lap times are all doing to really judge that.
I can see the fastest and last one there, so I'm looking at Glenn. Fast lap of 157.7, last lap was 159, while Smee, his last lap was 157.8, so yeah, he's been running about 1.2 seconds faster.
Is he getting in BMW range here on the straight to be able to, no, not quite, I think he's too far.
0.7 of a second. Even for Smee, I think this is too far back to do a Smee dive.
It's just a bridge too far, that one. So
Yeah.
Oh no, you know what? It looked on for the last bit. Yeah, I'll have to bide his time, I think.
Yeah. See, for Glenn here, I don't know, would I defend too hard and slow myself down, Or they just make it just awkward for Smee to get by.
You've got to make a judgment call. 31 minutes to go. Can you realistically hold that car behind you for that long? You know, you make the decision based on how you're feeling in the car at the time. If you're feeling like a bit gritty and you want the fight, why not? He's not obliged to let him by. He's got his own race to run, and he will gain experience from fighting other cars of other abilities. So
well, it's for a proper track position as well, because neither are pitted. And the one thing is, though, Smee might have to pit a little bit longer carrying that bit of damage.
Yeah, exactly. So Glenn's in the prime position there to dictate this race.
I reckon Glenn could easily... Oh, you don't want to be doing that. I reckon he can place that car just enough to slow it down, but running wide there is not going to help, and Smee's gone the inside. And Glenn's very well aware of that and does the right thing there. What he needs to do now is try and just stick in the toe here, and the Aston Martin should be a decent drag race in a straight line.
I was on board with Glenn. He looks like he just got it slightly wrong through the Schumacher race. Had to back off. That gave Smee the opportunity. He thought about fighting it and then didn't.
Yeah. He's a clever driver. He's a very clever driver. Yeah, the Schumacher race, if you get that wrong on the exit, once you clip that gravel, it slows you down so much, and it does make the opportunity then a lot easier for someone within the half second.
Like tapping brakes, basically, isn't it?
Oh, Smee very aggressively cutting the toe at all. But Glenn, he's close enough to consider it, but not close enough to get it done. As Dave Campbell goes into the pits. And now Jay Taylor is back within a second of Matty Gamble as well. So Matty Gamble here has been I think Matty's been doing a very good race. He's one of these guys who just gets his head down and does it. And especially when there's no incidents in his way, he can just focus on what he does best, which is just being consistent. And it's going to be a great start for him. I reckon Matty Gamble is going to be one of the guys this season I tip to be someone who could be winning this championship.
Especially if he sorts his internet out.
Yeah. Well, that's probably part of his strategy.
Just to drop connection and yeet people off or get fired. I mean, we've not spoke about him much, which is kind of testament to the fact sometimes the boring races are the ones you want. You want a boring race.
Yeah.
It means you've just consolidated. I mean, he's got a Honda breathing down his neck right now, so does this hark back to your point earlier about do you jump in the pits?
If I was him, I'd do it now. He's not doing it. And the Honda here should be a little bit faster, maybe on the exit. But the Honda has definitely been nerfed in top speed.
Yeah, Matty's exit were nice and tidy there, so he'd have to be a really late move by Taylor here on the brakes. I don't think he's going to risk it.
No. It'd be a very silly move to go from that far back. The tether now is catching Gatton while we're talking about that. Tether now has Gatton right behind. And look at Dudley up into 12th position. Another guy we haven't really spoke much about. Obviously, we're keeping an eye on him to see what he does do, but he's another guy that we're expecting to sneakily come into play very soon. As I think Tether's going to go for the move here and Gatton. Oh, he's getting super close. He might as well be pushing along. He's going to go for the inside. I don't think it's going to work. He thinks better of it. Gatton's doing it.
Two cars there.
So Glenn's gone into the pits, by the way. Oh, that was a lovely move there by Tether. So they're going to jump on back with this one here with Taylor, and Matty Gamble is still going hard and strong. Jurgles is kind of sticking in around the 1.7 to 2 second mark at the minute as well from the race leader.
So these two then, the top two, could come down to pit strategy very strongly, like how have they fueled, will they save time in the pits, are either of them going to take tyres? The gap has not moved more than 4 tenths this entire, well, since they've been P1 and 2. This is all down to the pits.
It's definitely, it's a game of chess. And then
starting to hit lap traffic as well, that could play a part in it.
Look at this one here. Dudley is going to go for the inside line with Ferrara. Oh, Dudley had to avoid that. Ferrara just cut across. I don't think Ferrara actually seen Dudley there. So Dudley done an absolutely amazing job of getting out of that. See, Dudley's one of these top class drivers. He's super fast and he can read the track perfectly. And now he's coming back at Ferrara now. And it's a drag race with Dudley and Ferrara, but Ferrara has the inside line. Dudley's going to carry the wide outside line and cut back across a little bit and try carrying more speed through for the next phase. And Dudley has the inside line, but Ferrara just doing enough to stay ahead.
Dudley was definitely doing the right thing there, focusing on the exits more than the entry to the corner.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in Nurburgring, that only works on about half the corners you can overtake on, so it's difficult. Especially with a Ferrari that's so good on the brakes.
Yeah.
Dudley's going to have to hope for a better run out, potentially coming into the first sector or down this turn one.
See, this is hurting his strategy.
Yeah, definitely big time. What's his last lap then? 56. No, it's not bad, 56. Oh, right, no. Right about 59, yeah.
59.7. He's going to go for the inside line now. I would assume this is it, but Ferrara is doing a great job in battling.
He's giving tons of room as well. Neither of these boys are wanting to have a crash at this stage in the race.
Oh, it looks like John has it here now. He does. I suck over a lap, but great driving from both drivers. Exceptional. And now so Taylor's after dropping off a bit of time now from Matthew. He's dropped about a second off. So maybe he might have just had a small moment for himself, but still going very strong. That was absolutely great racing there from Dudley and Ferrara. And I'm very impressed with Ferrara. He's a new driver in. And very fair, clean racing. The placement of his car is being second to none, in fairness. The way he's defending.
Absolutely spot on. Every time I've gone on him, if he's racing a car, it's always clean. He's giving plenty of room. He knows. He seems to have really good awareness of what's around him.
Yeah.
Got to appreciate driving like
Look
that.
at this though. Jurgel's 1.1 seconds off the race leader now and catching.
Yeah, that's because of back markers though. So I have been keeping an eye on that in the background. Hamlin got caught up lapping the McLaren in the final sector. It did cost him a lot of time.
This will give Jurgels a new lease of life being within that time frame.
Yeah, when you can literally see the paint on the back of a car like Jurgel can at the minute, it gives you an incentive to drive faster.
Oh, it wakes you straight back up and you're very alert to what's going on. Not that you would be asleep, but now he's less than a second, kind of nipping at the less than a second mark. He's keep coming up and down from it. On the brakes, how is he? He's catching a few tenths on the brakes. That Lambo on the exit though seems to be quite nice as well.
Yeah, it's really stable. I really enjoyed driving that thing at Spa. It was really nice to drive.
Yeah.
We've had another pit stop there. We've got Taylor in the Honda now, pitted and back out into P5.
And Andrew Gatton's in the pits.
P6. Sorry, yeah, the ACC's doing its catch-up thing. So.
Oh yeah. The Taylor's down in 9th place.
Oh, right, okay. So on my screen, he was still in 5th, so I'm a bit behind.
No, that's just the Assetto Corsa way of doing it. It's the joy is, luckily with this standings that I can use, I can actually set how quick the delay is as well. So I can delay it like Assetto Corsa do for 5 hours, or have it down kind of within a few seconds. It's the one thing I never understood with Assetto Corsa's timing.
Yeah, it's not quite right, is it? If games like Gran Turismo Sport can get it spot on.
Yeah.
In the pits.
Good man, Matty. I think he's done the right thing. He's now cover off, in fairness, Taylor. Jurgel's here, still sticking within the 1.2, 1.1 second window. I does say Hamlin, though, just has a slight edge on him. Not by much, but there is a slight edge there, whether Jurgel's is still nursing tyres.
Yeah. Hard to say without knowing the specifics. Both are plainly driving really well. I really do think this is just going to come down to the pits in the final 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely will.
Links first, you know.
Liam's crying that I'm not having the relatives in the stream.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. I'm looking at that in the background on the track map though, so I'm trying to keep an eye on that sort of stuff as we speak.
Let me have a look. There's the full relative there, so the gap between the drivers. So you really want to see Stacey's 3 laps down. Let me see. And I'm given the delta now, which gives you the breakdown of sector 1, sector 2, sector 3. Liam, only 3 laps, that's good for him. That is slow mean.
Oh, Ted is just had a little bit of an off. On board with him.
But Jurgles here is absolutely going to go for it here. He's only about 0.6 of a second off, so Jurgles is really pushing on. Stacey Ellis had a bit of a yellow. He's now in the pit, so obviously Stacey had a bit of a moment there. We're going to stand with Jurgles. Jurgles is definitely finding a lease of life here.
Yeah, he's got the tingling testicles at the moment, and so you can literally smell the exhaust of the Lamborghini ahead of him.
Yeah.
He wants a piece of that pie, so let's see what the Porsche's got.
Asprey has jumped into the pits. Tedder has got by Alex there now by the looks of it. And he's made that stick. So Matty Gamble comes out in 7th.
I was just going to say, Tedder has made a mistake this lap. He touched the grass brake and the car lost it.
Okay.
He was lucky to keep hold of it. Well, I say lucky, he did well to keep hold of it.
Ross Webster, after his pit stop, right behind Matty.
Yeah, he did a doubly though, didn't he? He got in the pits early and has just been doing laps.
It's been very, very good. How are you doing, Papa? Nice to see you in here, brother. Very interesting with Webster there. But Jurgles is doing a great job, and I'm just waiting to see who pits first and what the difference is in pit time. The fastest pit time so far has been Matthew Gamble and Webster, both doing a 54-second pit stop. So Ferrara's in the pits as well. Let me see. So Glenn is now sitting in 14th. So Glenn is hoping to get back by as well.
He should do that.
We're just keeping an eye on this. Webster and Matty Gamble, I think now it's only half a second off now. Like, these two guys are well used to racing each other as well, so I'm expecting this to be a good fair fight. I don't imagine too much issues here between the two of them.
No, both cars will go well around here as well.
And Glenn has gotten by Ferrara by quite a bit of a distance there. That's great news for Glenn. He's about 7.5 seconds clear of Ferrara by the time Ferrara is out. You could actually call that 8 seconds. So Ross and Matty and Jurgles and Hamming are just having the battle of ages at the minute. Although Tedder's starting to crest Alex now as well in that McLaren. So Chris is starting to come back through the field after the incident at the start with himself and Gary.
The problem for Tedder is, once he gets past Tedescu, he's then got a 21-second gap to Dudley.
Well, look, to be fair, I don't think he'd mind too much after the start being at the back of the grid. Or just about at the full back, so I think for him, you know, it's all about points, exactly. Exactly. Actually, we'll jump back on because Chris is going to go for here now. He's nearly pushing Alex along there now. Alex has the better line, though. Chris just has to be patient, although Alex gets a little bit off. Oh, luckily enough for Alex, he's held it. Well done, Alex, because normally when you lose it there, I remember when I raced in Eleanor, probably last season it was, and I clipped that carbon on the exit. It was a destination ticket to the wall, that was it. It just snapped and I had no way holding it. It was just like boom. Your race is over.
That could have ended so badly.
I don't know, well, fair play, a testament to his driving that he was able to hold it.
We've got a blink of Jurgles pits.
Ooh, 5.2 seconds.
Strategic. So Hamlin was coming up to lap at Ferrari. The Ferrari got out of the way as quick as it possibly could, but Jurgles was literally about to take on this back mark of traffic and dove in the pits. So is he just taking advantage of now being able to get out in a little bit of space? Hopefully he should get out.
I'd say so, and it's down to how quick he gets in and out of the pits compared to Hamlin. So I'd be keeping an eye on the pit times as well, because if anyone was watching last night, we did see Chris Vickers do a 6-second quicker pit stop than second position to get the race win. And that's the difference between winning and losing the race. Could be the pit stop here, as we are coming down into the last 16 minutes. This race has flew in.
Yeah, he's flown. We've got Franklin in now for his regulation pit stop, so hopefully this will take him a little bit longer than 1.2 seconds.
So Franklin now, I'm wondering, kind of more interested to see where he is in terms with Dudley.
Good point. I'll keep an eye on Dudley. Dudley's on the start finish right now.
And Franklin still stops, so that's easy for Dudley. So
Dudley's got that.
So Jurgles comes back out in third position, only 10 seconds off Massey. You know, obviously Massey still has to pit, and Smee behind still has to pit. So interesting for me now is watching Smee. Where does he come out in relation to Glenn? You know, he pulled a little bit of time on Glenn, but then again, he still has to fix that bit of damage. So for me, unless he decides not to fix the damage, he's happy enough driving how he is. It's going to be an interesting one as well to see can Glenn then hold him off. Because Webster is going to look at Matty, but not go for it just yet. So Massey, Smee and Hamling are the last three to pit. Everyone else has been in the pits.
Minutes in which to do their mandatory pit stop. All they've got to do is take on at least a litre of fuel. They don't have to take tyres. I don't think you'd take tyres with 15 minutes to go, even if they're short. It's just not worth it. You're not going to make the time back. Well,
Nurburgring isn't too bad on tyres though. Like I would assume all cars here, even the Honda, should be okay for an hour.
Yeah, they're not torturous conditions, especially by Amigos standards. 26 degree track temp is fine. The tyres won't be tortured.
No, not at all.
I don't think anyone's taken tyres today.
I'd be very shocked. I would be very shocked if there's any tyres stuck today.
So the Pirelli guys in the back have had a very quiet day. They'll be in the fourth beer already.
I'd well imagine. I wonder the Pirelli guys, all the Eleanor lads.
That's where he is. That's where Vince has gone.
He heard there was beer out the back of half bucket.
Tequila in his hand.
So in fairness, Jurgles though had a long enough stop, 57 seconds, compared to Campbell, Webster and Antonio of 54.
That indicates he probably went light on fuel in the first stint then, or didn't take a full race loads worth of fuel on. I don't think there was any damage.
No, it's yeah, I'd say it's fuel. I'm wondering though, when Hamden goes in, we're just going to have to wait. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah, you can't predict it at this time.
No. Tetley down in 18th, so Stacey Ellis has given up now on the race. He's called it a day, unfortunately.
Thing is, for Hamling, he's still doing low 56s.
Oh, he's doing unbelievable.
So he's been on this set of tyres for 45 minutes. Granted, he's not been sliding them around, which some have, but he's still got really good pace in the car. I'm going to say one thing that Jurgles could do is he's just trying now and lap fast. Now he's got a bit of clear air ahead of him, but
Yeah.
doesn't really seem like that's doing it for him either. Let's have a look what his lap time is as he crosses the line now for Jurgles. Needs to be a low 56, a really low 56.
It was.
Yeah. So slightly quicker that time round, but we need a bit more out of him to overhaul the Lamborghini.
Yeah. But see, he does have a pace there, so if that's only slightly faster now, if he keeps doing that over the next few laps, he's going to be getting, you know, obviously jumping up slowly but surely through it. Thanks for the follow, Broomy. Yeah, it's one of these things. Oh, as Gary, I'm just on with Gary giving a bit of airtime. I feel bad for the guys that are not getting much airtime here at the minute, so trying to give them a little bit. It's Dave Campbell in 15th. Glenn Smith up in 13th, so he did get out in front of Ferrara. Alright, we're still waiting to see what the crack is with Smee. So Smee's last lap there, 57.0. He is lapping about a second and a half faster than Glenn, so I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue for him now, in fairness. Was Ross Webster...
I haven't pitted yet, and I'll let you know when the dog in.
I was literally staring at that metric to let me know the minute to go in.
Hamlin hasn't this time, so but yeah.
No, well, look, they have another 6 and a bit minutes to go, so 6 and a bit minutes, and then the pit window shuts. The pit window, for anyone who's new to this, is at minute 55 down to 5 minutes to go. You need to pit within that. It's a mandatory fuel stop only. Change tyres if you want. This is the kind of track, though, you don't really need to change tyres on with these track temperatures. It's definitely manageable, which is always handy. Ferrari, I think, has been a very impressive one for us today to be watching. The biggest winner on the track, though, Massey at the minute, but that's obviously before any pits. He's up 10 positions. Chris Tedder, it's been a good recovery drive from so far, up into P11. So he can't be feeling too sorry for himself, like, so far. Obviously, it's a race of what could have been. He was doing so well as Matty Campbell goes by Smee, because Smee is now in the pits. So now Ross Webster, still not as close as he'd ideally want to be. So we just have 2 more left to pit, Massey and Hamling. Chris, if you are Hamling, how worried would you be about Mr. Jurgels behind, who is still lapping faster, and it was nearly a 10 faster this lap? So at the minute, Jurgels here could be looking at an undercut depending on how quick Hamlin can get that pit stop done. It is all down to the time he spends in the pits now, I think.
It is. I'd be getting that pit stop done as soon as I'm seeing Jurgels doing like 56, etc. I'm in the pits.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Hamlin's pace is extraordinary, but if the guy that you're fighting with is going quick, you want to get yourself in a secure track position here. So if I'm Hamlin, going in the box.
And the fact now that we're in the last 10 minutes as well, there's not going to be that much time by the time he pits. And if you were late, we use it to the last minute as well, 5 minutes. It's not a lot of time to be building up to make a move. 8, 9 minutes, you can kind of get away with it. You still have plenty of time to read the driver, see where they're kind of defending and try and make a move happen. Not just an outright pace. You need to be very smart about it, because Jurgels here as well is a very smart driver.
As I say that, Hamlin must have heard me. Stuck a 56.1 on the board.
Nice. And Jurgels that time round, where is he?
Okay, I'll shut you up. Yeah, he didn't pit that time round. He's got maybe this lap or the end of the next one to get the pit stop in, so we're not far away from getting answers to those questions.
Let's see what Jurgels doing there. So Jurgels really needs to call back now at this one. So he done 56.3. So he didn't lose as much time this lap as we would have expected if he was sitting in at the 56.5. So we do know Jurgels has a bit more pace in him, but obviously the tyres are older now. He done a 55.960 not too long ago. I think Ross Webster's was kind of thinking to himself, how do I get rid of that buck-tooth lad ahead of me? Wee Matty's had a great race. I'm very impressed with Dave Campbell as well. You know,
Yeah.
Still very new to, well, when I say very new, he's not extremely new, but like he's new enough to this game. So for him to be coming in here with Amigos, as you know yourself, it's such a mix as well. He's done a good job to keep it in P15, 20 seconds clear of Gatton. But Tetley now is trying to fight with North here now.
One season in Amigos will teach you more than 4 or 5 seasons in the other leagues.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Hamlin pits.
And Webster here still trying to fight along. Glenn, for me, very impressive today as well. He's had a great race.
Absolutely, definitely. It looks like he's really enjoying that car as well.
Yeah. I think he changed to the Aston last season, and it's just been something that's kind of just worked for him. Avsbury as well up in 6th position.
Yeah, not a bad race for Tony in the Ferrari. Got the Ferrari's best track.
Not at all.
See, but they've done well to stick results out of it. Jurgel is just rounding the final corner now. Hamling is rolling out of his pit box, so it's going to be close, but I reckon Hamling will have this.
So Massey's in the pits as well. So Hamlin does get out by quite a bit of time, in fairness.
Yeah, so
So I think Hamlin's pit stop time was that little bit faster. So yeah, Hamlin was 2 seconds faster in the pits.
That'll be the nail in that coffin then.
Yeah. But I'm sure Jugglers won't mind getting into P2. But Matty Gamble now onto a podium position. Well done, Matty. As Massey is in the pits. And exiting the pits. I'm delighted for him. Now can Matty Gamble hold off the pressure for the next 6 minutes? I'm going to jump on with Tetley here because Tetley's been working down Mr. Alex North here. And he's been biding his time.
Really nice exit there as well.
Yeah.
Drove out of that corner, powered the Porsche out, got the inside line secured for turn 1. It's just going to be a battle of the brakes now. They're climbing a little bit later, but Tetley with the line gets the job done.
Oh yeah, and the traction from that Porsche as well is just second to none. Especially at the low speed corners.
It's like it hits a wall.
Oh, Webster's lost out there. We'll go back and see what happened to him.
Was he pushing too much?
So he's going around there, not a bother. Oh, and yeah, he just kind of lost a bit on the grass or on the curb. But kept it going.
Pointing the right way, that.
Yeah. Fair play.
In the wall.
There we go. The pit window is now closed. We're into the last 5 minutes, guys. And Smee and Franklin are at it. And Smee runs onto the grass, which is not going to help his cause. And going down that bit of a straight, he's lost 2 tenths, 3 tenths now. So it goes to show when you do run that little bit wide and clip that bit of gravel, it really does slow you down.
But Smee's been absolutely reeling the Ferrari in over the past couple of laps.
He's had quite impressive pace in that BMW, Smee.
Yeah, he's been on average about a second or so a lap quicker than the Ferrari had.
Yeah. But it's one thing catching, it's another getting by.
Especially on that Ferrari. Like I've said before, the Ferrari's great on its brakes. Smee's
Yeah.
really good on his exits to get this move done because you're not really going to catch a Ferrari knocking on that one brake.
Especially one with Franklin in it.
It's not with Franklin in it. I've had enough battles with that guy to know he's good on the brakes.
He's good on the brakes, but he's very fair.
Yeah, definitely.
There's one thing I will say. So Alex North and Tetley still at it, but Tetley has got the better of it. And you know what? Fair play to Gary. He's only 3.7 seconds off them guys now after being several laps down.
Yeah.
Like, you got to give it to him.
Damage. And he's kept going, and like mentally, that's not easy to do when you've been hit
No.
off twice. You've been involved in 2 accidents, rather.
Yeah.
Early on in the race as well, we'll say, and you've spent most of the race with no objective other than to just do a lap. It can be quite draining. So well done to him.
Well done is right. Broomy, this is a decent league and you're very more than welcome to enter. I'm going to send you the Discord link to our league now. This is Amigos and we offer other great leagues to race in as well. It's not just one. You'll have access to an awful lot of them. So bear with me 1 second here and I am just going to copy that link and throw it in there for you now. Join away, we get you sorted, mate. We are now down into the last 3 minutes. Smee is still fighting with Franklin.
Yeah, it's still going off. He's been on his backside, basically. I think just waiting for Franklin to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be trying to fill his mirrors up too much.
No, he's been doing quite an interesting... I wonder, is he waiting to maybe try and build up the speed here to catch him and then get him into turn 1?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, I don't think he's been trying it in sector 2. It's too tight.
Yeah, but he's very comfortable. He's got, what, about 5 moves done into turn 1. He's very comfortable with that move.
Yeah, he's always had a really good exit at the final corner. He did get a little bit of a slide on there. That's just going to let Franklin escape up the road. So Franklin should be safe this time round. He just needs to think a few corners ahead, which I know he does. He's a good driver.
Smee's getting a bit of a toe. He pulled in about 2 tenths there. But on the brake and that Ferrari pulls that straight back out. But on the exit there, Smee, much better exit. Yeah, Broomy, don't be afraid. Just do what you need to do to register an SGP. Pick a car, and the madman Heather himself, I'm sure we'll get him to have a chat with you as you come in. Hamlin, though, has done a great job. Look at this, Gary Smith's going to be fighting for 18th place coming into the next 2 minutes. 0.7 of a second off. Mentally, that'll be a win for him after being 2 laps down after the incident at the start. The guy has a lot of pace in him as well, so...
Oh, Smee v Franklin. They were...
Give it a final push.
Smee actually cracked out of a move into the chicane. And then Franklin went a little bit deep of his own violation anyway, and Smee went, thank you very much, I'll have that place.
Sometimes it goes... Oh, Tetley's after dropping it there. And Gary is going side by side here, and Gary's going to get up 2 positions now. Although North's going off.
The undercut.
Oh, look at that by Gary. That was the most patient, amazing driving. Oh, I love it. I love that when the guy's going, oh, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to send it. In a fair fashion, of course, but that was brilliant. So Franklin here has 1 more lap to try and get that position back, but Smee seems to have the edge on him at present, but only 0.4 of a second between them. So this man here is coming around to finish off the race now. G Hamling, his first race in Amigos, and I tell you one thing, what a way to start it. In the Lamborghini, he's been fairly flawless as he's overtaken Dave Campbell, backmarker, to come up now. Honestly, for me, a phenomenal drive. And he's got the fastest lap of the race, by the way, 55.942.
Yeah, superb race. Like pretty much flawless start to finish. Hasn't put a foot wrong. Obviously, for that, he's going to earn himself a 15-second penalty for the next race, which I think is Kyle Army.
That's the fun part of the succession penalties.
Yeah, just to try and put him on a bit of an even keel with the other guys, but no, brilliant race, Hamlin. Well done.
Unreal. So that's been an absolutely great show in a beautiful looking camo livery for his race win. So this is the first round goes to G Hamling in our new season. Jurgles comes over in 2nd place with Prison Mike. In 3rd place, the wee man Matthew Gamble gets a podium. It's been a while since I've seen him on a podium, so I'm delighted for him. He's earned this one tonight because Ross Webster there right behind him has kept him honest the whole way through. With Avspree then coming back into it, and then we've Jay Taylor coming around here as well, another newcomer in, and Dudley up into 7th spot eventually. Dudley was another lap and could have been up to 6th.
Yep.
Dudley was flying. And then Massey coming around for his first race in the Aston Martin as well, as he's changed from the NSX, so still a great result for him. Smee, very impressive after the incident.
He's had a busy one, hasn't he?
Truly has. He's done more overtakes than all of them combined, I'd say. And Franklin as well come behind. Chris Tedder as well, a good recovery, up into 11th spot after the first lap incident with himself and Gary, 1st and 2nd, first lap, the last chicane. Alex then in 12th. Glenn, another guy who impressed me immensely today. He had a very long pit stop though, so that's probably why he isn't further up the road. I don't think it would have made a difference tonight with position, but a very, very good drive from him. Yeah, you got to hand it off to him, and he does it in style with that car. It's a gorgeous looking car.
And yeah, you just missed it, but North v Tetley at the line, 1/10 between them.
Whoa. So Ferrara drops the gear and gives a little bit of sideways. So Dave Campbell then in 14th, Gatton in 15th, Gary 16th, and Tetley in 17th there. That was an unreal race. Yeah. I just can't get over how good that's been. Very, very impressive. What was this? Chris Tedder, mate? I was within 5 seconds of John before catching Ferrara, catching the grass under brake and trying to get past. That's what happened to.
Yeah, so that's the bit I was talking to you about where he braked them over the grass where Ellis did.
Yeah, that's very unlucky. But look, these things happen, Chris, and at least it's only round 1 and not the last round. And at least you don't have a succession penalty coming into the next race too. So you got to look at the positives of it. Obviously tough either way, but yeah, been a great race. Let's see, can we get a few in for chat? We'll have to jump into their chat now. I'll just open it up on Discord. If you want to jump into the driver race chat.
Yeah, I will do.
You hit me once there.
I'll hit you if you don't
Again.
stop this now. I'm going to smack you.
Three.
Shh, Chris. The streamer's here.
Yeah, the stream, you can't be mouthing off about people now, Chris. God.
Come on.
Wait till afterwards.
Everyone go quiet and pretend we're not here.
Yeah, shh. Sir. Is the race winner not in here?
You
No.
just missed him.
Ah, Jesus.
Does someone want to pretend to be him?
Well, Chris can do it. Chris can pretend.
Oh, no.
No, we're going with, I don't see Jurgles in here either, so we're going with Matty Gamble. Matty, delighted to see you back on the podium.
Oh, mate. I couldn't have asked for more from that, to be honest. I was putting myself because I didn't know what I was doing through practice. And then somehow I went from 8th to 3rd, so I'll take that.
Absolutely. No, I have to say, honestly, it was a very good race for you, and you were kept honest all the way to the line there, because Webster was literally like a thorn in your arse.
Yeah, he was, yeah. I'm not going to lie, I was a wee bit happy when you went in the gravel there, mate. I was like, whew, I got a bit of a break. I was being hounded by Jack and the Honda the whole first stint. And then I come out of the pits and Ross is right behind me. I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. So,
Jeepers.
it was a bit of a jeepers.
Sure, look, no, you're doing a very good job, man, and I'm delighted for you, because I think it's been a while since you were on the podium.
Yeah, I had a bit of bad luck and crap internet and stuff recently, so
Yeah.
it's good to actually get a decent result for once.
Yeah, 100%. And Chris Wald said you were the second cutest driver tonight.
Oh, thanks, mate.
No worries. You're welcome. Anytime.
So, Chris, well, I'll get you to do an interview there. You can pick any of the guys there and go for it.
Me? Oh god, this is pressure, isn't it? I could see Smee's muted himself. I would have asked him how it felt to be the Daniel Ricciardo of Amigos tonight with all them late 10-minute moves you were doing tonight. Looked like you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was a story of what could have been, though, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, first lap. Yeah, well, I mean, what can I say? The gap was there, and then it wasn't. So, yeah, it is what it is. I haven't watched it back yet, so we'll have a look in a bit.
Yeah, you did well to focus in on the recovery, though, and just work your way through the pack like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, I mean, when I got it going again, I looked at the map and I was like, oh my God, I am miles away. I half contemplated going, do you know what, just quit. But I thought, it's the first race, I can't quit on the first race. So, yeah, it was good, though. I really enjoyed the comeback. It was good driving and a nice little bit of a fight with James on the last couple of laps as well, which was good.
Yeah, I saw you go for a move into the chicane. You backed out of it, actually, and then you must have spooked James a little bit. I don't know if you sent him a nude or anything, but he seemed to be a bit distracted going into the hairpin, and through you went. So no, good race between you guys. I was on board with you two while Colm was going through the rest of the field, and I was quite enjoying watching it.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, James will say, but I did stay right to try and throw him to think I was going to brake late. But I braked it early, and I moved back over, and then he just ran a little bit wide, which just opened the door for me.
James, anything to say in your defence?
Story of my race, really. Didn't have the pace, and the chicane in the Ferrari is just terrifying every single lap. So
Yeah.
I just had to take it at what felt like an absolute snail's pace to get through it safely.
We saw that. I think there were 3 Ferraris out tonight, and every single one of them struggled there.
Yeah, I was watching the other 2 guys in practice to see if they were having the same problems, and they were. So I felt a little bit better having seen that. But yeah, it's not one of my favourite tracks anyway. And then combining that with a car that doesn't like it, at least in my hands, then yeah, bit of a race to forget.
Well,
But yeah, it was a
considering
good start. I
we
was just going to say, just
solid
picking up on
start.
Tim's point, it was a good battle at the end. I didn't have much left in terms of grip to fight him with. I could see he was coming pretty quick, so it was only a matter of time, I think.
Good man. Well, plenty of races left in the calendar for you to get him back, no doubt. No doubt, you'll be trying that.
And then I'm just going to jump in there. Gary, my old flower. What happened? Do you want to talk? It was a great recovery by the end, but in the end, getting a few places up. But yeah, do you want to talk us through yourself and Chris and what happened at the start? It looked like just bad, unlucky. It just was an unlucky accident, but it looks of it.
Yeah, I think as a race overall, it couldn't have gone any worse. But yeah, I mean the opening lap, myself and Chris got into the lead. We're side by side going up the back straight. He gives a bit of room. I thought he gave less room than he did. And as soon as so I end up having to thinking I have to take a bit of the curb. And once I hit the curb, like at 220k or whatever, that just jumped the car across into Chris, made contact. Thankfully, he didn't seem to go into the barriers or anything, but my car went in and like a minute and 40 of damage or something like that. But yeah, after that, I decided not to take tires, just crack on. Then a couple laps later, then I had contact with I think it was Stacey rejoining out of turn 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then so that was more damage on the car. And then there was in the middle of the race, then I think I came together with Alex, which I think was my fault. So I just didn't turn enough coming off the exit of the hairpin. But happy enough that I had some kind of recovery. But honestly, I was even saying to Chris during the race, like I can't imagine. I haven't had a worse race than this. To be blunt, everything that could, even stuff you didn't think could actually go wrong went wrong.
But at least it wasn't Ryan Cooper that hit you, it was Stacey Ellis, so at least you were able to finish the race. So you have to look at the bright side of things.
Yeah, well, that was it. Just keep lapping, try and pick up some extra points, which thankfully I did. But yeah, one to forget for sure.
Yeah, well, look, it's not the ideal start to your championship defence, but it's a long season ahead anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be chances going forward over the next few races. I mean, the car felt good, the pace I think is there. But yeah, when that shit happens at the start, I mean, you're, at least I think it was a lap and a half, maybe 2 laps down after the first 3 laps were complete. Yeah, it's like, so to finish not last, that to me is like a victory in itself, to be honest.
I agree.
But yeah.
No, I honestly, very well done. Look, it definitely wasn't easy, and the fact you're able to recover and come back, we'll all blame Chris Tedder for it though now, this tonight, Chris, but
Torpedo Tedder. Yeah.
Torpedo Tedder, that's Matty Gamble. He went to Matty Gamble's school in Morton, I'll tell you that much.
So I'm saying, like, he says he got no damage, so I was like, oh.
So Matty, from now on,
in the rear mirror.
From now on, Matty is not being slagged anymore. Tedder is now the man.
Until next week when I get slagged again, but that's fine. I'll take it.
Until tomorrow. Never mind next week. Chris, do you want to have a chat with Mr. Tedder?
Me and Mr. Tedder.
Absolutely. But Chris, at the end of the day, Chris Wall, you are in as it comes tonight. You gotta do these interviews and make them sweat.
Oh no, I couldn't do that to him. I couldn't, because all he'll do is when I do come back to the league probably next season, he'll throw some like monsoon conditions at me again as revenge. No, what all I was really gonna say, Chris, is what you felt of the recovery. Like, what was your aim after the damage at the start? I know you plugged out there for the pit window to open, so you'd obviously lumped around with a damaged car for a little bit, but when you come out the pits, what was your aim and how did your race result match up to what your original aim was?
No, I could have done. I'd saying I come out the pits, I think 12 or a bit more than that. I might have been 17 seconds behind John, and I got it down to 5. But I come up behind Farah. Obviously, he's in position, and I just caught the grass when I went to make the overtake and went flying straight ahead. So I just went flying like a lot further back down the grid again, which is unfortunately because I could have finished a lot higher up because I was about a second a lap quicker. So
Yeah. So what was it in the end? Was it 11th for you in the end?
Yeah, and it should have been sort of 6th or 7th, really.
Still some solid point and some good strong Honda tracks coming up with Kyalami, Mazzano on the calendar. I know you've got Kota in a month, which you know you're going to absolutely adore that place.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Got some good tracks for your car coming up, so it's all about redemption now for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, no. I was happy with my sort of personal performance, if you get me, and I was happy with my qualifying. I should have taken pole. I dropped 2 tenths around that. So the car felt good, and it should be a strong season. I say we got over this one. We move on again.
We were all waiting for track evolution in qualifying because I was looking at everyone thinking they're just waiting for that to go to optimum or fast, and it never moved, did it? It never went out of green.
And then what happened is I think everyone's sort of got their tyre pressures wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to come in a couple of times just to tweak the tyre pressures, just to get him in the window, and that's where that last lap come in.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that makes a lot, because I was sat there watching, thinking, why is no one really pushing too hard? And I was just waiting for a lot of people to start putting laps in once they saw the rubber go down, but it never really came.
Well, I think the temperature dropped from free practice.
Ah, right.
So
Okay. Yeah,
I think we went down to like 14 or something daft like that from 20. So,
Yeah.
something like that. So everyone just had to go out and work their tyre pressures again for the start qualifying. So I think there was an element of that at the beginning of qualifying where everyone was just getting their pressures in the window again and going for it near the end when they finally nailed it down.
cool stuff. Thank you.
Excellent. And then Skins, how about yourself, Horsebox?
I want to go back to the Honda.
Was it that bad?
I don't know. Chris saying there's some fucking good Honda tracks coming up. No, it was all right. I was lucky with a couple of people going off. The track itself was a bit slidey for me, but it took a long time, I think, before I come to optimum. So I was struggling a little bit, but I'm happy with 8th. If I finish top 10 this year, I'll be happy.
Brilliant.
Because there's some really fast people in there now. So I've got my work cut out.
Oh, well, sure, look, it's a new car, so it's a new challenge.
It is, yeah. I like to mix it up. I'm not boring like these other fuckers. I like to,
What I said about your personality.
It's about as good as yours, isn't it, Chris?
You'll find out on Wednesday, mate.
And who the hell is YK Loti? What's your actual name?
Oh, it's Tetley.
Tetley, for feck's sake, would you not just change your name to a normal name? I can barely say Tetley, never mind that one. So how was your race for you, Tetley?
It was going well until they stopped going. So I came in, I think it was about 15th. And then just coming out the pits, I must have bumped it into second and got to stop going.
It's so easy to happen.
So I was then way back down. So it was a recovery drive, but I enjoyed it. At least I managed to survive T1. So my last couple of races have been destroyed on T1. So it was nice to finish a race.
Oh, look, I'm delighted for you. At least you got to finish. Then, look, that's right. That's round one out of the way. At the end of the day, none of you really have the succession penalties other than Matty, and then the 2 guys ahead there. So, Jurgles, and then I can't remember the other lad's name already because he's new. So, fuck it. It is what it is. We'll remember over the next few weeks. But he was very, very fast in that Lambo.
Hamlin.
That's the name. It's not like me to forget names or anything like that, but honestly, I think next week is going to be quite interesting, especially with the section penalties in now. For yourself and Gary, Tedder especially, next week could be very good. And the same with Webster there, because Webster's always there. Got 2 race wins last year as well. I'm sure is looking to get a few again this season. But yeah, guys, best of luck. Chris Wall, I want to thank you for jumping in the stream with me. Absolute legend that you are.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Hopefully I'll be on track again soon. But until that time, I can jump in the comms box when I'm free.
Brilliant.
Great to see you involved, mate. Great to see you involved.
Yeah, 100%. Right, guys, I'm just going to go out and close off this stream with the normal stuff that I do. So thanks everyone for jumping in for a chat, and we'll speak to you guys soon enough.
Sweet.
So, guys, yeah, another race done. Another stream out of the way. A great race tonight. A testament to how good Amigos is. The new season started off with a big bang there. New driver, new face wins the race, which is great to see. My streaming for the rest of the week, I have tomorrow off. Then on Wednesday, we are with ERC for the Formula 1 League. And that is 8 p.m. BST. Then again, back to ERA on Sunday. And that is at 7:30. I'm going to stick with 7:30 on Sundays. And then that's obviously the hour race, and then back to Amigos then the Monday after. I will be also commentating this Thursday for ISDA on their YouTube for an amazing series over there. And there could be one or two extra nice little things coming up. We're looking into doing an invitation event. Could be under the HorseBox name, coming your way soon enough. I won't let too much out of the bag on that just yet. But yeah, thank you for all the support, guys. Thanks for everyone who's liking or subbing or going on to my merch store, which is see an ad for now in a second. We do all great team shirts over there. I can do custom work for you as well, guys. If there's something that you really want, let me know and I can make it happen for you. But yeah, thanks again for joining and watching as usual, and we will see you on Wednesday night for our next stream live. Have a great evening, and again, thank you so much.
So goodbye for us. You have to say it, baby. And nuts and testicles. You wanna try, baby. I know you can. I know your heart, and you will figure